There are cities where mystery lingers like morning fog, settling into streets, drifting past monuments, and whispering through the walls of old buildings. Madison, Wisconsin may look like a postcard, shimmering lakes, a grand Capitol dome, and a campus bustling with bright futures. But behind that polished facade lies a deeper city, a place where past and present bleed together, where shadows stretch longer than they should, and where the dead, it seems, are not done speaking. Our first step takes us to the edge of a stadium, where the roar of crowds masks the silence of a graveyard. It's a place of cheers, triumphs, and ghosts in uniform who never went home. Before, it was the roaring heart of Wisconsin football. Camp Randall Stadium was something else entirely. A military training ground for Union soldiers during the Civil War. In 1862, it also served as a temporary prison camp for over 1,000 Confederate soldiers captured at Island Number 10. Many were sick when they arrived. Over 140 never left Madison alive. While the dead were eventually laid to rest at nearby Forest Hill Cemetery, in a section now called Confederate Rest, their suffering left a mark on the ground where the stadium now stands. Locals say the cheers of 80,000 fans can't drown out the echoes of the past. Maintenance workers have reported strange cold spots along the outer concourse. One night, a custodian swore he saw a man in a Civil War uniform standing silently near the tunnel, only to vanish when approached. Others speak of a woman in white drifting through the stands long after closing, her face hidden beneath a veil. Is it memory, residual energy, or something more conscious, drawn back to a place where triumph and tragedy are layered, one atop the other? Because in Madison, the past isn't always buried. Sometimes, it sells tickets. Some ghosts march in step, bound to duty even in death. But others pace the upper floors of red sandstone towers. They whisper from locked attics, and they write equations no one alive understands. 2. The Mad Professor of Science Hall. The red sandstone walls of Science Hall tower above the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a proud example of 19th century Gothic design and academic ambition. But after dark, that same architecture casts longer shadows. Students and staff have long whispered about strange occurrences, footsteps echoing through empty hallways, doors slamming with no wind, and equipment clattering in unoccupied rooms. But the most unsettling stories come from the top floor, where access is restricted and the air feels heavier. Decades ago, legend says a brilliant but unstable professor conducted unsanctioned experiments in the attic, working late into the night on theories no one else could comprehend. When the room was finally sealed, rumors spread that it wasn't for safety, but containment. One janitor swore he heard muttering behind a locked door. When opened, no one was inside, but the chalkboard was covered in equations no one recognized. Is it just campus myth, or does genius sometimes echo past the grave? Madness may hide behind lab doors, but love? Love hides behind ledgers, in buildings meant for commerce, not confession. 3. Romantic apparitions at the American Exchange Bank. At 1 North Pinckney Street, the American Exchange Bank watches over Capitol Square with quiet elegance, but romance, like hauntings, rarely respects zoning. The building is said to be home to 2 ghostly visitors, a Victorian-era postman and a young woman who once served meals at the bank's long-gone cafe. On foggy evenings, passers-by swear they've seen the couple standing together at an upper window, gazing down toward the square. Their story is fragmented. A love letter delivered too late? A rendezvous that never happened? What's known is this: each year on the same winter night, Employees report an empty elevator that rises to the top floor and opens with a chime. No one is inside, just the faint scent of perfume and pipe tobacco hanging in the air.
Some spirits linger for love, others for knowledge, and some for reasons buried deep beneath the surface. Our next stop lies at the edge of the city, where the air still holds the breath of the forgotten. 4. Lakeview Sanatorium Hill. Overlooking Madison from a wooded hill stands the former Lakeview Sanatorium, a tuberculosis hospital built in 1930. Though it closed its doors in 1966, locals say its halls never emptied. The building sits quiet now, but the grounds are far from silent. Walkers along the nearby trail report sudden cold drafts on summer days, phantom whispers carried by the wind, and flickers of motion just beyond vision. Some say they felt hands brush their arms, only to turn and find nothing. Others speak of invisible weight pressing on their chest as they approach the sealed basement, where old records suggest iron gurneys and isolation rooms still linger in the dark. The hill was once a place of healing, but it became a place of waiting, and now something waits still. In Madison, history doesn't stay in books. It breathes, it whispers, it waits behind brick and sandstone, in lecture halls and ledgers, in stadiums and shadows. And when night falls, the city belongs not to the living, but to the forgotten. You've been walking the streets of the unseen. Until next time, keep one ear open. You never know who or what is trying to be heard.